welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name's Preet and I make fashion, fitness and beauty videos here on YouTube. So welcome to this little family of ours. If you like what you see, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and join this little family of ours. So for today's video, I'm going to be testing out the DIOR Backstage Face and Body Foundation as well as the Face and Body Primer. They're both from the same line. Sorry, this like flashy packaging is making my lighting go all weird, but yeah, so I'm going to be testing this out. So it's meant to be, so we'll just talk a little bit about the foundation first. So it's meant to be waterproof and sweat resistant. If you have tried the MAC Face and Body, I believe it's very similar to that, but just more matte and more self-setting. So I'm going to just quickly read to you guys what this foundation and primer are meant to do. They kind of go hand in hand, so that's why I also purchased the primer, and they're meant to be used together for the ultimate finish, coverage, longevity of this foundation. So I'm gonna let you guys know the price of the foundation and the primer first. So the foundation retails for $53 Canadian and the primer retails for $48 Canadian. And I'm gonna now read to you guys what both of these products are meant to do. Let's talk about the primer first because I have it pulled up. So for the primer, it says it's a lightweight universal primer that helps makeup last longer, blurs imperfections, exactly what we need, and delivers up to 24 hours of hydration for an enhanced complexion. Okay, so now we'll look at the foundation. So the foundation is so it is medium coverage, but like I said, you can build it up or like make it a lighter layer just by using your fingers. So it's a medium coverage. The finish is matte, which I mentioned earlier. So it comes in 40 shades, which is really good because you are bound to find something that matches you or close to your skin tone and your undertone. So it's meant to be a natural matte finish, medium buildable coverage that's waterproof and sweat resistance. All right, so I got the shade 3WO. I actually first got 2WO, but I found that it was a little bit lighter, so then I went in and exchanged it. Love the packaging. It's like very sleek, kind of like a matte finish, and it's a plastic bottle, which is perfect because you can take it on vacation. It's not gonna spill, and it's like super light, which is perfect because obviously nobody wants to pack like heavy glass bottles when they are traveling. And the foundation, or sorry, the primer looks very similar. It's just white, and it's a universal 001. I'm not sure if this comes in other shades, but I will look into it. But yeah, this is the foundation and the primer. So when I got this tested, there was a representative from DIOR, and she actually recommended to use both of these products together rather than applying the primer first and then going in with the foundation. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm also just going to use my regular buffing brush to apply it, and then just kind of go in with a beauty blender. So let's go ahead and start. Normally I would kind of color correct these areas that I am breaking out on, but I really want to see what this foundation can do on its own. So I'm gonna leave everything else. And before I do that, actually, I'm just gonna quickly mist my face with this Avion hydrating facial spray just to bring some hydration to my skin. I really like this because the spray or like the pump, it's so like fine, and it just mists like the perfect amount without getting like streaky and all that. So I'm gonna mix the primer and the foundation together on the back of my hand. So I'm using about like, I don't know, 2 drops. Actually, let me show you guys what the finish of the primer is first. I'll just do a little test on my hand. So this is what the primer looks like, and it's super soft and it feels hydrating, but it also feels like it like just fills in all of your pores, which is really nice. It kind of like smooths out the skin. That's like the texture of it. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna go in and maybe do like, I don't know, 2 pumps. Oops, okay, I did way more. Give this bottle a shake just because this is like a very liquidy foundation. You want to make sure it's well mixed. Okay, so I'm gonna probably do, I think maybe 3 drops. I think that's all I'm gonna do. So about 3 drops, and I'm just gonna mix it with my buffing brush and start dabbing it on my skin. So this is like basically one layer that I'm doing. I might go in with another layer just to show you guys what you can build it up to. Okay, let me just go in with my beauty blender to just get rid of any of this streakiness. So this foundation does set pretty fast, I want to say, so you have to work with it fast. Make sure you don't miss these little areas. So this is basically with one layer, and I do agree that it is medium coverage just using a brush. So it's pretty much covered. Actually, I'm going to pull out a mirror so I can actually look closely. So it's pretty much covered all my spots, but you can still kind of see them through. So you can do another layer just to cover those up. So I'm going to go in with another layer just to see how much coverage I get with another layer. And I'm just gonna focus it on the areas where I do have some spots. Okay, so this is basically another layer, mostly kind of focused in on this bottom area of my face. And I want to say it is covered it pretty much. Like, you can still see them a little bit, which I'm okay with. I don't need to have this like full flawless finish foundation. I like my skin to look like skin, which I think this foundation does a really good job at. Like, it doesn't feel heavy on my skin, it feels super light, and my skin still feels like skin, but better and kind of like, you know, more evened out, but it still feels like skin, which is exactly what you want in a foundation. And like I was saying earlier, I do feel like this foundation is self-setting, but it hasn't made my skin feel dry, but the foundation has kind of dried down to like a matte finish. So I think I'm going to do like a light dusting of powder, but I don't want to apply too much just because I don't want my skin to look super dry. So I think I'm going to first do my concealer, and then we'll go in and kind of powder the areas. And I'm going to let this set in for a few more minutes and see how it kind of like looks. Do I even need to set it? I don't know. I might just skip the powder and just set my under eyes. That's where I kind of get the most oily, because I do want to see if this foundation even needs powder, because I would love to not have to apply a powder, but my skin does get oily, so I don't know if that's a smart idea. But let me just finish applying this concealer. So it's meshed pretty well with my concealer. Like, it looks really flawless. So now I don't know if I should set it. I think I might just set my T-zone, so under my eyes, up here a little bit, and my nose and my cheeks, not cheeks, my chin. And I'm gonna leave the rest of it because I do feel like otherwise it's gonna dry out my skin. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Normally I always wear powder, but I feel like this foundation really doesn't need any powder, so I'm just gonna set my under eyes. And just up here a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go and finish the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more about this foundation and see how it looks overall with the rest of my makeup done. So give me a few minutes and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back. I've finished the rest of my makeup. I actually finished like half an hour ago, but I really wanted to give this foundation some time to set, just so I could see how it actually looks once it's really kind of sunk into my skin. And I must say, I love the coverage, I love the finish, I love how it feels on the skin, because obviously I am wearing makeup, but it doesn't feel like it. Like, my skin doesn't feel tight, especially around my mouth. Because this is a matte foundation, I expected it to feel really drying on my skin, but it actually is like hydrating but matte at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. And I didn't even set any like areas around my face or like kind of like the perimeter of my forehead, but I'm very impressed with it, and I think this is a really good summer foundation, really good vacation foundation, just because you can build it up if you want full coverage, but you can definitely get somewhat of like a more natural finish as well if you choose to, which is right up my alley because I want a foundation that can serve multiple purposes. Obviously as a foundation for your face or your body if you need any like coverage on your arms or legs and what have you. But I mean, it is an expensive foundation. I probably wouldn't be using it all over my body, but at least you have the option to if you need to cover any spots and whatnot. And like I said earlier, it's a very lightweight foundation, so it's perfect for vacations, and it's a matte finish, so it's not gonna make your skin super like oily looking, especially if you are visiting like a very humid place. So overall, I'm very happy with this foundation. I think this deserves like a good 9 out of 10. It is a little bit more on the pricey end of foundations, but I think if you do like a light coverage, it will last you a long time. Especially if you apply it with your fingers, you're not wasting a lot of products on your brush or in a beauty blender. So overall, I'm very happy with this foundation. I would recommend it if you guys are looking for a new foundation. I think this is gonna be like my go-to foundation this summer, especially when I am in a hurry and I just quickly need to like slap something on just to give my skin that even coverage. So yeah, that's my take on this foundation. I really like it. Let me know if you've tried this foundation, and if you have, what are your thoughts on it, or if you would be willing to try this foundation if you are on the market for a new foundation. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys all in my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.